Hello and welcome back to Word of the Week. This week we're going to look at the word interpret. Let's start though with a quick reminder of the words we've already looked at. So we've looked at community, culture, evaluate, purchase, resource and analyse. But let's look at the word and the definition of the word interpret. So to interpret something is to understand the meaning of something, to make sense of something. Its characteristics are, remember, the features of the word. So it's something we do regularly. And if you interpret something, you understand something and the meaning behind that something. So examples of the word, for example, how we might use it. So it's difficult to interpret the meaning of this. Or we can interpret this in two different ways, because interpret is very much sometimes a view of something. So historians will interpret the past, so they'll have a different view of the past. If we look at the etymology of it, so remember where the word comes from. So the word interpret comes from the Latin word interpretare, meaning explain or translate. So if your teacher just pauses the video now, remember we need to get the definition, the characteristics, the examples and the etymology of the word down. Now let's dig a little bit deeper with this word interpret. So we interpret things all the time. So we're presented with lots of information in our daily lives. So remember, this was just a graph that I showed in the last video, and we interpret that. We understand the meaning of the graph by looking at it, analysing it, and then discovering the meaning of it. But you can do that with many different forms. So it doesn't just have to be data, or it just doesn't have to be the written word. It can be also pieces of art, for example. So this is a piece of art from Pablo Picasso, and we try and interpret the meaning behind it. So you might look at it and think, oh, well, actually, this is just a lot of different things going on here. You can see a kind of bull's head and things like that. But actually, if you understood the context of it, it was painted just after the bombing of Guernica in the Spanish Civil War. So the meaning actually is to do with that. It's to do with the damage caused during this bombing in Guernica. So actually sometimes it can be quite difficult to understand the meaning of something. You really have to analyze it in order to interpret and understand it.